FCSS is an amazing organization. The people that you get to know and build relationships with, we all work together.
We work with the schools, we work with community groups, we work with our municipalities to determine what the need is each year, and each year our programs and our partners change depending on what those needs are.
I really do believe that a lot of the work that FCS does ignites that passion and those inner strengths that people have to work with communities in a way that is respectful and meaningful.
FCSS, Family and Community Support Services. A legacy of community-based support services, unique in Canada, only in Alberta.
We want to share information about the special partnership between municipalities or Métis settlements and the province of Alberta, and the people and programs that make it work so well.
We're going to talk about people and programs. We'll describe the role of the province in the FCSS Association of Alberta, municipal councils, advisory boards, and program directors, and the various types of programs and services available.
Because for many municipalities around Alberta, FCSS is a community tradition.
The province of Alberta's FCSS Act and regulation sets out the mandate and requirements for the 80-20 partnerships between the province and the municipalities and Métis settlements that provide FCSS services locally.
Communities design and deliver social programs that are preventive in nature and provided at the earliest opportunity to promote and enhance well-being among individuals, families, and communities.
One of the FCSS key principles is local autonomy. The province provides most of the funding, but the local municipality or Métis settlement decides on how to allocate their FCSS resources, staff, funding, and support to best meet the needs and priorities of the community.
Community development is another key component. It's a people helping people approach to improving quality of life and building the capacity of families and communities to prevent or deal with crisis situations.
The province enacted FCSS legislation in 1966 as Preventive Social Services, or PSS. In 1981, PSS was changed to FCSS, Family and Community Support Services.
There are 8 FCSS regions in the province, and over 200 FCSS programs provide services and projects in approximately 320 municipalities and Métis settlements. Less than 5,100 Albertans reside in communities without some FCSS presence.
While the FCSS regions are not aligned directly with Child and Family Services authorities, many FCSS programs work with CFSAs to provide services in their communities.
FCSS is powered locally by the staff and volunteers who deliver programs and services in our communities. The task of improving quality of life in Alberta takes a dedicated team approach, including supports at a provincial level. Key support groups include the Ministry of Alberta Human Services and the Provincial Association, the FCSS Association of Alberta, also known as FCSSAA, and the Directors Network.
The FCSS team at Alberta Human Services is more than just the main funding source for FCSS. FCSS municipalities are directly accountable to the ministry through year-end financial and narrative reports. The FCSS team at Alberta Human Services is more than just the main funding source for FCSS. FCSS municipalities are directly accountable to the ministry through year-end financial and narrative reports.
The provincial FCSS director, program officers, and senior manager also provide assistance with programming and financial administration, help to provide professional development opportunities, and are valuable sources of information and support.
They're also familiar faces at our local, regional, and provincial events.
The FCSS Association of Alberta is the provincial group of FCSS programs that represents our collective interests to both government and non-government organizations.
The board of FCSS-AA, as it's called, is made up of representatives from FCSS regions. They host the annual FCSS Power of Prevention Conference each year in partnership with one of the FCSS regions. One additional ever-present support is the FCSS-AA Resource Bank. This collection of educational materials on program planning, delivery, and management is available to all who assist with programming at a local level.
The Resource Bank also provides Made for FCSS by FCSS professional development opportunities for FCSS staff throughout the province, as well as presentations to local FCSS advisory boards, staff, and municipal councils. The FCSS AA board and staff work very closely with the ministry's FCSS team to address issues that impact FCSS and to ensure that FCSS preventive social services are the best they can be.
The Directors Network is a group that provides networking and professional opportunities for FCSS program directors. They meet through the year as required to discuss common issues, share information, and listen to guest speakers.
I'm the FCSS director for the County of Grand Prairie. I started with FCSS back in, 21 years ago actually, and I came into FCSS as a school liaison worker. Previous to that, I'd been working in the corrections field with young offenders, and I wanted to be doing prevention instead of the intervention, and so that was a big part of it for me. So then 13 years ago, I took over as the director of FCSS.
What attracted me to the FCSS position was the fact that the community services area is basically all about prevention and contributing to your community in a positive way.
Municipal councils and advisory boards are also very important players who, along with our program directors, ensure clear communication and effective delivery of programs and services at the local level.
Balancing my career as a municipal politician and as a president or a board member has taken a lot of challenges, but FCSS is very much part of our communities, so the role is easy to fit.
It is the Municipal Council that determines participation in FCSS, signs the funding agreement with the province, and is accountable to the province for local FCSS operations. Council approves the annual FCSS budget and approves all appointees to the advisory board and takes guidance from recommendations put forward by that board and the program director. If the FCSS operates under direct municipal management, then the local council approves the grants to eligible applicants as well.
The local FCSS program director is typically a municipal employee who may be called program manager or program coordinator or executive director. Basically, this person works with the advisory board to develop annual program plans and budgets. He or she is responsible for managing the day-to-day operations of the FCSS program, is the FCSS representative in local partnerships and communities, and in many communities also provides services.
The program director reports to the advisory board and is usually supervised by a chief administrative officer or other designated municipal manager.
Advisory boards are the true dedicated champions of FCSS, promoting and guiding the municipal programs with integrity, passion, and professionalism.
The advisory board works with the program director to develop annual program plans and budgets. They also either recommend approval of grant applications to council or, in some cases, have the authority to approve the grants themselves.
Advisory boards are often involved in the recruitment and performance reviews of the program director. They may also designate a board member to oversee the program director.
But the most rewarding part of FCSS is the people. The programs that we share and how it affects the community. We put a lot of effort, a lot of hours. You see the results and how the programs have affected people and our communities. And that's what's the most gratifying.
That's a broad overview of FCSS and some of the key players. And when you have great people, it's the first important step to great programs.
People first, then programs. In fact, our next segment will get into some detail about local FCSS program delivery. And even more information is available on our website at www.fcssaa.ab.ca. If you have an immediate need for information or would like to chat about FCSS, please contact our main office at 780-415-4791.
Some of the most rewarding parts about being part of FCSS comes from making a difference in your community and to be able to help your community people. Being a councillor, we deal a lot with roads, infrastructure, but the social infrastructure that makes up our communities is critical to the well-being of everyone in our community.
Welcome to Chapter 2 of FCSS in Alberta, where we discuss local program delivery. FCSS is a great place to work for a lot of reasons, but three of the main ones are: we have the mandate to do community development, to prevent social problems at the earliest opportunity, and
we have the opportunity to invest in preventive social services, to save money and resources in crisis services further down the road. And we have the challenge of proving that prevention works and needs to be supported by provincial and municipal governments.
There are three main types of local FCSS programs. Single municipality, where an individual municipality delivers programs on its own. Multi-municipality, where two or more municipalities join together in one FCSS program. And partnerships, that involve grant transfers, and where two or more municipalities share FCSS funding.
It's been really good. Our program has grown tremendously. In the 20 years that I've been there, we've gone from just a small, program with 2 staff. We now have like 25 staff. We run lots of programs. We do granting to other agencies, and so we're a very busy program.
I've been with FCSS for 8 years, and during that time, I've gotten totally involved with FCSS, not only locally at the community level, but provincial level as well. I sit on the board. We've had many different partners throughout those years. Partnerships like early childhood development, early intervention programs, the elders, seniors and elders of the community. Also with parent link centers, that was increasingly valuable to our community.
Preventive social services are provided in FCSS communities by direct service delivery, or through external grants, or a combination of both. In direct service delivery, the services are provided by FCSS program staff or contracted service providers. For example, a youth worker may be an employee, or a home support service may be provided through an ongoing contract, or perhaps a contract may be designed with someone to provide a one-time series of 6 parenting courses, for example.
External grants, on the other hand, are FCSS funds granted to local organizations and groups to deliver services or projects. We call these groups FCSS-funded agencies. The funds can be in the form of ongoing grants or one-time projects. The projects must meet FCSS eligibility guidelines.
Before we discuss the many types of services and supports that may be offered in FCSS communities, let's briefly describe the non-eligible types of services that FCSS must not fund.
Services provided under an FCSS program must not provide primarily for recreational needs or leisure time pursuits of individuals.
Services provided under an FCSS program must not offer direct assistance, including money, food, clothing, or shelter to sustain an individual or family.
Services provided under an FCSS program must not be primarily rehabilitative in nature.
And the services rendered must not duplicate services that are ordinarily provided by a government or government agency. Basically, FCSS looks to fund unique, community-based preventive social service programs to meet community needs that are not being addressed elsewhere.
So the kinds of services and supports that may be offered are assisting communities to identify social needs and develop responses to meet those needs, such as raising public awareness around community issues, or developing strategies for community advocacy, or developing comprehensive social community plans and initiatives, such as environmental scans, service reviews, strategic planning or program planning, or offering in-kind support to community-based groups until they're able to sustain themselves. So there may be the provision of office space or printing, photocopying, and help with preparing proposals.
FCSS also promotes, encourages, and supports volunteer work in the community, such as recruitment, training, and placement services, resources to support volunteers, volunteer recognition, coordination of volunteer services. And when required, FCSS takes an active role in informing the public of available services through information and referral services, community information directories, newcomer service, and interagency coordination.
FCSS supports programs that enrich and strengthen family life by developing skills so people can function more effectively within their own environment. Through mentoring programs, parenting and family life education programs, programs for single adults and single parents, courses designed to enhance self-awareness and personal growth.
Individual, family, and group counseling services that are educational and not treatment-oriented, and youth development and leadership services.
And FCSS promotes the social development of children and their families with parent-child development activities, early childhood development services for children up to the age of 6. These are not child care services, and support services for children 6 to 12 years old.
And not just youth or families. FCSS programs and services also enhance the quality of life for our retired and semi-retired folks in communities, with services that include home support, education and information, coordination of senior services and programs, and self-help socialization activities.
And as previously mentioned, every year key stakeholders gather for the annual FCSS-AA Power of Prevention Conference to renew old acquaintances, make new friends, and learn new strategies.
Probably what feeds us the most out of this job and rejuvenates us is the opportunity to come to conferences like this and network with other people and get a chance to, find new ways that other people are working within their communities and try to make a difference in that same way in our own personal community.
Yeah, every year is a little bit different. Some years you're able just to come and attend as a delegate and kind of kick back, and other years you're running and behind the scenes, and I love both areas, so whatever I need to do, I'll help out.
I've been to 12 FCSS conferences. It's been a way for all of our FCSS programs to get together and talk about what's happening in their area, any issues that are coming up, and to learn from each other. Networking is critical in FCSS, and that partnership that we have with all of our FCSSs makes FCSS as strong as it is.
And so I was quite impressed, because I think this is about greatness as opposed to just success. And greatness in my mind is when people feel valued and actually feel like they want to contribute to the greater good of their community, their families, their schools. And I think a lot of the work that FCSS does really ignites that in very powerful ways.
Yes, it does. So now you've had a chance to see some of the people and pictures of some of our FCSS people and programs in action. And we hope this overview of FCSS has helped you learn more about what FCSS is and does. We encourage you to call the FCSS Association or the FCSS team at the Ministry of Alberta Human Services for more detailed information about FCSS, the supports available to your FCSS program, or just to chat about FCSS.
More detail on programs, services, and FCSS events is available on our website
at www.fcssaa.ab.ca. If you have an immediate need for information, please contact our main office at 780-415-4791.